Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Natalia, and I've got two really short announcements before I start this video. First of all, if you've watched any of my previous videos, you might notice I do have a new background, and that is because I moved houses. If you've seen any of my videos, or especially like the last few videos, you might have noticed that my bookshelf is really overflowing with books and it's really tiny, but that's because I didn't have much space to work with. But now I do have like a bigger and upgraded bookshelf. As you can see, there's lots of space that I can fill in with books, and I'm really excited to slowly start doing that. Well, here's like more books that I'm covering with my body, but I might change the setup. I don't know, I'm still figuring out. Let's just like leave it like this for today. And the second announcement is, well, because I was moving, I was a little bit busy, and I didn't have much time to record any videos lately. Also, it was like end of the semester, so I had some schoolwork as well. And fun fact, I actually recorded this video like maybe last week, but the little perfectionist in me just didn't like something in that video, and I decided not to post it. But either way, it's finally summer. Maybe not finally, because I don't really like summer, to be honest. I hate hot weather. It's like my least favorite season. Actually, I had to turn off the AC because I felt like maybe it was a bit too loud in the background. So if I suddenly start melting, that's why. Anyway, I do have to get through the summer. So in order to get through it, I made a list of some amazing reads that I want to dive into this summer. Some of them are summer themed, but not all of them. But regardless, I think they all promise great enjoyment no matter what time of the year you choose to read them. I also prepare like a wide variety of different genres. I mean, I would say the majority, as always, it's fantasy and thriller mysteries, just because these are my two favorite genres. But I did throw in a little bit of romance, contemporary fiction, non-fiction, so I tried to make it diverse. I think grab your sunscreen and let's just get into it. Okay, so the first book on my summer TBR is actually a reread. This is the only reread on this list, and that book is Carry On by Rowell. I read it like, I would say, a few years ago, and I remember I loved it so much. I think I even classified it as my favorite book at the time, but it's been like such a long time that I barely remember anything about this book. So, it's hard for me to even recommend it because I don't remember it. So I want to reread it and just see if I still love it as much as I used to. This is a fantasy novel. In this book, we follow Simon Snow, who is a powerful mage, and then we've got Baz here, who is a vampire, and he's also Simon's roommate, and he's like this brooding and grumpy personality. And as their relationship goes from enemies to something more, they also have to uncover secrets, fight monsters, and navigate the complexities of love and magic. I also know two books came after that one, but I never read them. So I think rereading this book is also a good start to picking up those other books in the series. So yeah, I will let you guys know whether I still love this book or not. I think I will love it, but yeah, we'll see. You know what? I'm a huge coffee person. Like, I cannot do anything in the morning before I drink my coffee. But lately I've been really into tea, especially like in the evening or before bed. I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know. I've been really liking it. I used to think I don't like tea, but I think I'm starting to change now. But I still love my coffee in the morning. So I don't know. Let me guys know. Do you prefer tea or coffee? Let's get into the next book. I'm very intrigued by this book. It's a thriller called The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. So I read one book by Riley Sager in the past. That was Home Before Dark, and I really loved that one. It had so many plot twists. One of my favorite thrillers of all time, and I highly recommend it. And now this one, I'm very intrigued by it. Now, if you go on Goodreads, it doesn't have such good reviews. I think the average rating is like 3.6. So yeah, it's not that great. But then again, one of my favorite booktubers, Hailey Pham, she really loved this book. I think it's one of her favorite thrillers. So I don't know, I just want to read it for myself. And it's also like pretty short, and usually I read thrillers pretty quickly, at least compared to other genres. So I think I can get through it pretty quickly. So in this book, we follow the main protagonist who seeks solace at her family's remote lake house. And across the lake, there's like a glamorous couple living there. So in order to like kill her time, I guess, she starts observing them through her binoculars. I know, creepy. And one day she notices something strange, and she rushes over there to help. But yeah, she just ends up being thrown into some chilling mystery where reality blurs with illusion and danger lurks in every corner. So I'm not really sure what the mystery is. Obviously I have to read it, but like I think the premise sounds really interesting, and like not sure if it takes place during the summer, but definitely it's giving off summer vibes. I mean, if you think of like lake house and all of that, we'll see, but I'll let you guys know whether I think it's a good book or not. Okay, so the next book on my list was like really big last year. Like last year it was everywhere. I don't know why I didn't read it back then, but I guess I didn't, so I'm trying to catch up now. And oh, you can see it already. That book is Fourth Wing by Rebecca Ross. It is pretty thick. Yeah, as you can see, I borrowed it from the library. So I do feel a little bit intimidated, but I mean, it is like a fantasy, so it might be fast-paced. I'm not sure about that. We'll see. In this book, we follow Violet, which, by the way, this name is so pretty. Like one of the prettiest names I've ever heard. I would love to be called Violet, even though I do like my name, but like Violet, oh, so pretty. Okay, so our protagonist Violet has planned a quiet life studying history, but her mother has thrown her into something called Rider's Quadrant, which is like a brutal dragon riding program. So Violet must prove herself worthy amidst shifting alliances and dangerous trials where friends can become enemies in an instant. And it actually is an enemies to lovers trope, which it is one of my favorite tropes, so I'm definitely really excited to read it, and I'll let you guys know if I think it's worth the hype. The next book on my list is called The Rocky Road to Ruin by Meri Allen, and it's classified as a cozy mystery. And I'm going to be honest, I've never tried reading that genre before. I don't know, I never like thought of mystery, especially a murder mystery, I never thought it could be described as cozy, if you know what I mean. But I mean, I guess, yeah, they mean it's like maybe a little bit slower than a regular mystery, and like the atmosphere is cozy. I mean, I don't know, I will have to read it and give it a try. But it also is like revolves around ice cream, so I think it's actually a really perfect summer read. And in this book we follow Riley, who goes back to her hometown to help her best friend run a local ice cream shop. But her plans for a quiet summer crumble when she finds that best friend's body in the shop's cellar. So she starts trying to solve this mystery, and then she starts to realize that this town is holding like a lot of secrets. So she's trying to solve the mystery all while still running the ice cream shop. I don't know, it sounds really interesting, so I'm very intrigued to read that, and I'll let you guys know what I think about it. Okay, the next book on my list is nonfiction. It's actually really tiny, as you can see, really short, and it's basically a very concise guide on writing. Like, it talks about orthography and style, punctuation, something like that. You can see it's very concise, so I'm guessing it's very to the point, and it's called The Elements of Style by William Strunk Jr. and E.B. White. So William Strunk Jr. was like the original person who wrote this book. He was a professor, and actually E.B. White was one of his students, and some years later he was asked to revise this book. So that's how this book came to life. So some time ago I read On Writing by Stephen King. As you can see, I've been really interested in books about writing, maybe because I don't know, I find like the process of writing like really interesting, and yes, I also would like to improve my own writing skills. I think writing, yes, it's not an easy skill, but I wish I could just write a little better. So I've been picking up some books on writing, and Stephen King actually recommended this book. Oh my god. I did start reading it. I don't know if that's cheating. Okay, my bookmark, it's actually a bookmark from Rome, when I went to Rome. I had one more, and I don't know where I put it. I need to find it, because that's like such a nice souvenir. I think I should just get bookmarks wherever I go to some new place, because that's like useful and fun at the same time. So Stephen King recommended this one, so I picked it up. I will try to make some notes on some things I find interesting, and I will let you know how useful I think it was. Next up on my list is Funny Story by Emily Henry, which is a romance book. I actually have never read any book by Emily Henry, but she's a very well-known and very appreciated author. A lot of people read like lots of romances during the summer, because I think a lot of them take place during the summer, but I'm not a huge romance girly, so I think this is the only romance I put on my list. But I definitely think I should read at least one Emily Henry book, because she is a huge author, and I feel like I've been sleeping on her a little bit. Let me know if you have like a favorite book by Emily Henry that you would like to recommend to me. But I put Funny Story on my TBR, and actually the blurb was a little complicated. Like the relationships between the characters were a little complicated, so maybe let me Google it, because I get so confused. Okay, so listen, it's really crazy plotline. We've got Daphne, our protagonist, and she had a fiance called Peter, but they broke up when Peter realized he was actually in love with his childhood best friend Petra. And now Daphne becomes roommates with Miles, who is Petra's ex-boyfriend. So she essentially will be having a thing with her ex-fiance's new fiance's ex. Generally, yes, it is a love story between Daphne and Miles. It also takes place during a wedding. I'm not sure whose wedding that is, but okay. And they are going to have like a fake relationship, which I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of this fake relationship trope, but I will give it a chance, and I'll see whether I like it or not. Okay, the next book is definitely summer themed. It even has summer in the title, and the title is Summer Rental by Rektok Ross. It's a YA thriller about a group of friends who go to a remote lake house for the summer. So again, we've got like a remote lake house, which was a similar theme as the house across the lake. But I mean, the plots are completely different, so it doesn't matter. So we've got this group of friends, and what's supposed to be, a fun and enjoyable summer turns into a nightmare when one of the friends disappears, and then they are stuck in the house because of the storm. And on top of that, they start receiving texts, messages from a stalker. So it's a very intense and scary situation. And as tensions rise and secrets unravel, their friendships definitely will be tested in this situation. Now, the next book also has summer in the title, but I believe it does not actually take place during the summer. It's just the character's last name. But I still felt like it's kind of fitting to read it during the summer. And the book I'm talking about is Billy Summers by Stephen King. Stephen King is known as the king of horror, but this one is not a horror book. It's more of a thriller. In this book, we follow Billy, who is a hitman, but he's not an ordinary hitman. He only kills the bad man. And now he's planning to retire, but before he does that, he goes on like one final mission. But this final mission turns out to not be so easy, and he ends up being entangled in a web of deception and danger. So yeah, can't wait to read that one as well. Okay, so the next book on my list is contemporary fiction. I usually don't read a lot of contemporary fiction, but this one has really intrigued me. It has like really good reviews. It's called Anxious People by Fredrik Backman. And it talks about a group of people who are taken hostage by this failed bank robber. Well, each person in the room is like dealing with their own issues. But as time goes by and they start like opening up to each other and just revealing their secrets, dreams, and all of that, they will realize that, despite being different and dealing with different issues, they feel they are kind of similar and connected in some unexpected ways. So it just seems like it's going to be a very touching story. If I'm in the mood for something like that, I will definitely grab this one. The next book on my list is another fantasy that also has been really popular lately, and I've seen so many people rave about this book. It's called Powerless by Lauren Roberts. And our protagonist lives in this kingdom that is reigned by magic and people who possess magic. But she does not have magic actually, and she's deemed ordinary, which actually is like I believe it's illegal, but in order to like survive, she pretends to be a psychic, and that's how she can like live in this society. Definitely pretending to be someone she's not is going to get her in trouble. So I'm very excited to dive into that book and just into that world and see what the hype is all about. Okay, the next book, this one is like really, really high on my TBR. Like I actually ordered it some time ago and I'm waiting for it to be delivered. So I think as soon as it's delivered, I will start reading it because I'm so excited. And that book is The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. So where is it? Oh my god. Here I have The Inheritance Games. I only have the first 3 books because I actually thought it's going to be a trilogy, and then like more books came out and I was like, what? I'm probably will end up reading them at some point, but I'm not sure because I feel like should just stay as a trilogy. I feel like it was a complete story, but like there are more books now. I'm very confused about that. Anyway, the author has another series called The Naturals, and it sounds so interesting. So in this book we follow Cassie, who has exceptional profiling skills, and because of that she is recruited by the FBI for this like program for like teenagers with special abilities. So her task is to solve cold cases using her gift. well, at some point she ends up being involved in an open case, and she needs to, well, I guess she and the other teenagers in the program, they are caught in the cat and mouse game with the killer. So it sounds really interesting, and I can't wait to read it. Okay, the next book on my list is another YA like mystery thriller. It's called The Cousins by Karen M. McManus. So I've read One of Us is Lying by the same author. Still have to finish that series because it has 2 more books in it. This one, I believe, is a standalone. It also takes place during the summer, so it's really fitting. In this book, we follow Millie, Aubrey, and Jonah, and they are invited to their estranged grandmother's island resort. So they go there, and they just realize that they might be pawns in like some bigger game, and that they will start uncovering the family's like dark secrets and all of that. And oh my god, I love family secrets trope, so I'm so excited for that. I think it's going to be such a thrilling read. Last but not least, I've got a historical fantasy on my list. It's called Half a Soul by Olivia Atwater. This story is set in Regency England, and our protagonist Dora was cursed to live without half a soul, and she doesn't really feel emotions the way other people do, and she's not really concerned with like societal rules and norms. One day she goes to London together with her cousin, because her cousin wants to find a rich husband, and there she meets Elias, who is like a sorcerer with a mysterious past, and together they end up facing the challenges of high society and the world of magic. I've heard some great things about this book, so I'm really excited to dive into this one. I love like historical fantasy, so I think this one has a huge potential. Okay guys, that was the last book on my summer TBR list. Also, not a long time ago, I made a video about summer releases, and in that video I just mainly talked about books that are set to be released this summer. So if you're looking for like more books to read during the summer, you can also watch that video. I might pick up some of the books from that video as well. I just didn't want to be adding them to this video because I already talked about them, so I didn't want to make this video too long. I think that this list was already quite exhaustive. And that's it for this video. I will definitely try to be posting more frequently now. I know I haven't been, I do post quite regularly. It's just not super frequent. But yeah, I will try to do better. So don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!